Hello everyone, you're watching Coin Help You, and my name is Daniel. Today we're going to discuss floating roof Lincoln cents, the 1969 and other dates. We're going to talk about what causes it, how much they're worth, so stay tuned. Often I hear about this floating roof mint error for the Lincoln cents, namely for the 1969. Now, I want to clear up a couple misconceptions. You know, it's not really a floating roof. That's just a term used for what it looks like. Okay? Now, it doesn't have to be on a 69. It can be on other dates as well. Because of the nature of how this happens, it can be on any date. It has nothing to do with it being a double die. The double die reverse does not have a floating roof. You know, if you find one, then it's going to be an anomaly because, like I said, it can be found on any of them. Another thing, there's no relation to missing designer initials with the floating roof, although they happen the same way. So I guess what I want to first explain is that dies begin to wear. They also clash with one another. In other words, if there's no coin in that coining chamber, that hammer die, which is the obverse die most of the time, will hit the anvil die, which is the reverse die. And they will actually impart the design into both of the dies. You know, the reverse on the obverse and the obverse on the reverse. And that's how a die clash happens. Well, when the mint employee catches that, they'll go in and they will take the dies and they will repurpose the dies. A lot of people say polish, a lot of people say, you know, they abrade them, but the mint does go in with the tools and they actually remove those clash marks, and they do use a polishing compound. What happens is sometimes they accidentally remove some of the design. They can remove a date, they can also remove the designer initials, because those are real shallow areas of the die. These right here this is what they call the floating roof here. They're supposed to be lines. And we will look at an example of that. Right here, you see? And it's real shallow here. This is a real shallow area of the die. And what happened is those were removed. So then it looks like this roof is floating. It's not really floating. Now another thing that happens, sometimes they don't clean the die off well enough and they'll leave that zinc compound that they use, or what they call grease, that helps polish the die down and repurpose the die after it starts wearing down or after it's clashed. And it'll actually prevent certain letters from being struck. So then you have a struck through grease. And you can have a missing date digit, you can have a missing letter on the coin, you know, all those kind of things can happen. And that's how that occurs. So how much are these worth? Well, let's go to eBay sold auctions. Like I said, I come down here and hit sold after I typed in floating roof. I've showed you how to do that in many of my videos. This is a good resource, but you also have to understand that, you know, this is what something might have sell for. It's not what it's always going to sell for. But here you've got one, 70S, which is another date besides the 69, went for $1 plus 1 cent. Basically the shipping was $1, so you might as well say it sold for $1.01. Here's another one, $2.29 plus $3.74 shipping. You know, no FG initials. I'm going to tell you this, the best thing to do if you have missing designer initials is to send the coin off to at least Annex and let them grade it as such. Because if there's any remnant at all of that FG on this coin, then it is not a missing designer initial. And it should not be sold as such either. You got some more here, the floating roof. I mean, you know, you got just this, they're just not worth that much. And don't confuse it with a double die or a double die reverse or all of that. They're not related. They didn't happen the same way. They're not worth a lot of money. So I just wanted to clear that up. So hopefully that helps you understand the process here and exactly how these happen. You know, they're a result of a mint employee repurposing the die to sustain the life of the die and to remove clash marks and things like that. and also that they're not worth a lot of money, and that they're not related at all to the double dies at any way, shape, or form, and that missing designer initials doesn't have to have a floating roof, and a floating roof error doesn't have to have missing designer initials. It can occur at the same time, but it's not required. It also doesn't have to just be on a 1969. So please like, share, and comment. Click that little bell beside the subscribe button, and have a great day.